All right, guys, back with you on Friday, the 28th of June. We'll finish up here with a look at Ethereum. As Litecoin and Ethereum tied in the polling request, so we hit all our majors. We got Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum done today. So now this is again pretty straightforward, kind of picking up where we left off. I've got a still 2, 3, looking for the 4, and then up for the 5. So that symmetry is pretty solid. All right, I think we can. That doesn't look too bad there. It looks quite nice actually. Now I've got a set of median lines on here. So one thing I thought was worth noting here, just showing you this. Note here as we get, so we have a corner pocket here. So failure to make it, right? Close, failure to make it. Again, looks like, failure to make the median line, perhaps trading principle number 4, a move equal to or greater than, although that's not supported by the Elliott counts. And then we come back down, we get the 4 of this degree. Now we get it, right? And in fact, rip right through it. So it takes all the way to that level from this corner for that 80% to be realized. So I tell you guys, often you want to have these on because you'll be amazed how consistently that will come back into play. So there's your 80%, corner pocket, boom, realized. So 1, 2, and then the subdivision's all there. I can go 1, 2. I've got an impulse in my 3, A, B, C in the 4. I've got an impulse in the 5. Right? So it's perfect Elliott trading. So we go. Let's go down to the hourly. Now it's a little different than Bitcoin here, in that it looks very much like the shape of the A wave is, it's better. It's in. There's less confusion about where we are. So I don't think we have to wonder as to whether or not this is the 4, that we're putting the 4 over here because of the shaping of this. It may not be enough. Let's go to the 30. Let me open this up. So if this is if we've got this correctly labeled, let me get this off here. I'm going to take the median lines off as well just to clear up the chart. Okay, so this coming down, 1, 2, I should check that. Well, just to double check. Okay, so 3 to 5. Okay, good. So do you see what I just did? I'm just checking because it looked like 1, 3 could have been a problem. So we couldn't have this count if 3 was shorter than 5. But as I was just double checking here, I should have checked that. If that's correctly identified as the 4, we come up just a few ticks shy. So this count is valid. So 3 is shorter than 1, but longer than 5. So right, we all know this, right? It's just can't have 3 be the shortest. So we've got a contender for the A wave here. And then note also, I'll go to 15-minute. Much like Bitcoin, look at the beautiful 5 wave I get coming down, right? This just perfect, right? So nice impulse finish in the 5th of the proposed A wave, finishes that, which gives me confidence that we finish something down here. So this looks to me like the 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't think we got an algo target here, but so we come, interestingly, we go right just a couple of ticks from the wave 1 pivot, right? No coincidences in the market. So that holds us, keeps us in the condition such that we could have the 4 and then finish with that impulse in the 5. Now the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 3rd, not as pretty, but it's definitely there. Right? So I'm on a 15-minute. It stand out on a 5. But it also looks like 3 shorter than 5. So 1's the shortest, then 3 longer, then 5 longer than 3. So this coming down here, you could throw a channel on it too, just for good measure, even if you use the outside edges. All right, so you get right on that here. So this angle, just perfect. Now we pushed off of that. So if that's a completed impulse down, that gives us an A wave. We are looking for a deeper correction. So the A is in. Now, what do we got here? Looks like just the start maybe of, come here. Well, it looks like we could have right now. Well, right now we could have this. Kind of hard to call that just yet because there's not much of a B there, but it looks like that's going to be close to a 50. Yeah, it's a few ticks shy of it. So we've got a little ABC in there. So is this heading? So for that, so we see we've already hit the algo target. So is this enough for the C to be in? See, it's not great. But so if we think about that from the top, then we'd be pulling here and we're not quite to the 50. So I would feel better about this trade if I got, let's see, we can get some median lines on here. I got an that's going to be too skinny. So we got to go to a channel. So I might just do it like this, looking for the C up here closer to the 50. Looks like I can get 1, 2, 3, 4. I need one more push up here to get a little more confident in that as a corrective wave. Although it's possible this gets relabeled here. We end up with if this comes down a little bit over the weekend, that you might end up with a B down here. But it does all look like does look like it's all corrective in the context of correcting this impulse. So thus the ideal zone for us is right up here. All right, so and anything in that range. So this doesn't look like it's quite done. So you might have to refit this based on how this area resolves. Are we coming down here to get a deeper B? That would look better in terms of the symmetry of it. So we'd have something along these lines, A, B, and then up for the C. Now we come down. Now because we're seeking the 50. Pardon me. We're seeking the 38 to the 50 at this degree. So, oh shit. Let me pull back out. Okay, so let's put that all back together. Okay, so from the too low, the proposed too low, I've got a completed impulse into that 3. So from that, I'm looking for anything down in this range. Now note how that kind of fits in nicely with all of this structure. You'd see it in the volume profile as well. So here I'm just looking at the third. So if I do that same thing, come down here, I'm going to use the fixed, and I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go from this low to this high. So we've got a little bit of support here from all of this action. So we've got to come down. Now we've already got the A wave in. So if we're going to get this as an A, B, C, that would be, right where you'd be looking for it. So 50, we know there's going to, if it comes lower, we know there'll likely be software to help with the support there. Going up for the 5. So let's put this. We'll use the algo target here. So let me pull this off now, and we'll go back down to that lower time frame. See if that makes sense with how we get there. So that I don't think the correction is done here. So I'm not looking for any sort of which I'll often talk about here. I'm not looking for this to be the buy to go up for the 5. I think we're still in the process of correcting this 5. So yeah, it's possible that we're done here. We're going to come down. I think that's less likely here. Just the symmetry is just not ideal. So it looks to me like we're seeking the resolution of this correction. Now this could go higher. No, obviously we know that. We could have a B wave going 786, 887. We could have a B wave. We could have an expanded B wave. But right now, there's no reason to assume that. I wouldn't mind if the B shaped a little bit better. I'm not an advocate of shorting up here. I'm waiting for that to be a buyer, right? Because I'm not trying to play the little micro swings. I want to get the 4 to the 5. Right? If I can get that 4 to that 5, do I even have my 5? Where are you? Well, it's up there somewhere. We got to go back to a 4-hour. There you are. All right, that's what I'm looking for. Right there. All right, so if it takes a little longer to get there, that's the trade that I'm after right there. Now, if we come down like that, this could be interesting for the median line trades because you got a couple of question marks as to what to use here. So the obvious one you might look at first, God damn it, right here is from our too low, but this is going to be mighty steep, right? So yeah, I could get us there. Push it out a little bit more if it's going to take more time. I actually don't think this is going to take a lot of time. I think this is kind of what we're shaping up here for. So up to the upper parallel. But if it doesn't quite fit there, there's going to be temptation to consider these other pivots here. Even something as low as that is worth looking at. But what you want when you're setting these up is you want to find a pivot that could have been used by an algorithm. So if I use this right here, that proposed 2 to this 3, right now look where I am. All right, so I'm between the 50 and the golden zone. So now I have just a much prettier looking corner pocket here. Now, so if we come down here, I get a golden corner. Right, so we could go A, B to the golden zone, back down here to this golden zone relative to this 2. Right, remember, algo does not care about the Elliott count. I'm just looking for a pivot that would give us a technical corner down here, i.e. the corner pocket, to give us that potential C, for that potential 4. Right, it's not so this 618 or this golden zone is not relative to the Elliott count. I'm just trying to find a pivot that would make sense to give me something else to consider for the median lines. Right, here's the first one you got to look at, but this one will be one I would go to check as well. And then if we push back here, you look and say, okay, well, I still like it. We'd be between the 38 and the 50 here. You know, there's the 38 a little bit higher. So if this were going to come down to the 50, now you know well, high probability you'll get software participation there with that as their target. But until we get this, we're just kind of in a holding pattern. Do we get that ABC? No reason to think we wouldn't. This has been perfect Elliott trading, very consistent. If we get that, that's the trade I'll wait for. I'm not trying to catch the B to the C. I'm trying to catch the 4 to the 5. And then you want to be a traditional Elliott. You might do it this way. Get that up here, and I would come to the 4. So we get this nice potential confluence up here as we come up to that upper channel right there. So this area looks like a good target to me. We could use the median line as well. So up here, 423. Yeah, let's call it 425-ish. If we get now, right now we're just waiting to see. There's the trade right there. That's probably good risk reward. What do we get on that? Let's just use the algo target, so we won't fatten it. It could be better. I think you'd be down here. You'd be, let's use the second algo target here. So that give you 4 to 1. If you want to be a little tighter, you could probably do it, depending on where we pivot here. If we start to turn, but my guess is we'll get a traditional C there, right? You wouldn't want to assume the truncation. So if we're coming down to that level, now you're a little better, almost 5 to 1. That's the one worth waiting for. All right, guys, that'll probably do it for us as we go into the weekend. Let's get this this correction. Let's get a little more shape to it so we can have a bit more confidence in where we're looking for that next entry and reasonable targets. All right, guys. With that, I will wrap it. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.